This is Rebecca Lowe, or Rebecca Lua if you listen to Suboptimal Radio, and you are listening to Men in Blazers on the NBC Sports Network.
It's unbelievable!
Our guest today is part of our most favourite American quintet since The Breakfast Club. She's one of the US back five, including goalkeeper Hope Solo, that's conceded just a single goal in 4 games for this entire World Cup. This Friday, she'll lead the team as they take on China, or as Louis van Gaal calls them, the Chinese, in the quarterfinals in Ottawa. We welcome to this Women's World Cup special pod from the defending NWSL champion FC Kansas City, originally hailing from St. Louis, temporarily dwelling in Ottawa. Welcome to the pod, the one and only Becky Sauerbrunn.
What an opener.
Oh, Becky, we are so honoured to have you on. Your play has been absolutely scintillating. We will talk about it. But job done in the round of 16. It wasn't always pretty on the eye. But can you describe the mood in camp after the Colombia victory?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously really excited that we are now on to the quarterfinals. We kind of knew Colombia was going to give us a tough match, and they certainly did. I mean, they were great in tight spaces, great opening up the game, great, individually. So I thought we did well against them. We kind of kept our heads. It was a really, chippy game. So, yeah, we're excited. We know that we've got room to improve, and as this tournament gets on and on, we're going to have to get better. And so we're just focusing on that. We're happy with the win, but we're moving on to the next.
As a player, does style of victory matter? Or to you, is it all about the scoreboard at the end of the game?
It's tough because, obviously, in a tournament, you need to win in order to advance. And so winning is important. Style, absolutely. You want to win in good style. And we know that maybe we haven't been playing up to our potential. And we've got high expectations for us. And America's got high expectations for us. So we know there's room to improve. So hopefully we'll show a little bit more of that in the quarterfinals.
Let's talk about positive things. Let's talk about lovely things. Let's talk about the back line. I mean, you guys have been like the Night's Watch. You're the sword in the darkness, the watcher on the walls, the shield that guards the realms of women. Julie Johnston,
Excellent.
Megan Klingenberg, Ali Krieger, and you. Are the 4 of you close off the field?
Yeah, no, we're really tight. We work together so much, and work together, this team together so much, so we have to be pretty tight. But it's just a group of like-minded players. We like watching video. We like, analyzing things and breaking things down, and we want to play. And I think that with Hope behind us, we've been, a pretty tight unit, and I think that's really helped the team get as far as we have.
I mean, you are a supremely modest individual. Whenever I've interviewed you before, you'll talk about anything. You don't love talking about yourself, but we've got to talk about your play because it's been fantastic. Your coach, Jill Ellis,
I appreciate that.
She called you a silent assassin. Your teammates apparently call you badass Becky Sauerbrunn, which probably sounds better with an American accent. You're technically, you're tactically astute. You're physically gifted. How do you describe your style of play and your approach to defending?
I would probably say it's more cerebral. I think at this level, there are players that are absolutely faster than me, stronger than me, taller than me. So I've kind of shaped my game around the ability to read the game several plays ahead so that I can position myself. So I think if I, would compliment myself on one thing, it was that I positionally put myself in good places so that I can break plays up.
I mean, there's something I marvel at when I think about your career is just how patiently you had to wait for your chance with this national team. I mean, you're the cornerstone now, but for 2 years you were out in the wilderness. Then you had to wait first to make the squad and then to wait out Christy Ramponi, Rachel Bueller and become a starter. You're a cornerstone now, but because you had to wait so long and work so hard to earn this position, do you feel like you have a different perspective about what it means to play at a World Cup and what success is?
Yeah, I think so. I think since I've had such kind of a crazy journey, I definitely appreciate every single game that I get to play in. And, I mean, I was super fortunate that I even got to play in the 2011 World Cup. And, it was such a confidence booster to go through that semifinal and know that, although I hadn't played a whole lot, that I could still, hold my own against, one of the best teams in the world. So now going into this, I mean, I don't take any days for granted that I get to play soccer.
Another thing I love about you, you're an Arsenal fan. But when we last talked, you told me the defender in the men's game you most admire is...
Martin Skirtle.
Martin bloody Skirtle.
Oh, man, he's fantastic.
Oh, can you explain yourself to me? Or just explain yourself better than when we last talked? Because Martin Skirtle to you, it's like me to Mother Teresa or Julie Andrews. Completely different people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I like so much about him is that we are so completely opposite the way that we play the game. I mean, he just hucks himself into anything. He's so dynamic. I mean, he's really fearless. I mean, I don't think that I'm necessarily not fearless, but the way that he plays, I mean, I'm, more of the, okay, I'm going to read what this player is going to do and maybe, intercept, take the ball away. He's more like, I'm just going to slide tackle the crap out of the person and get the ball.
He's essentially Julie Johnston with no hair.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I think Julie's got a little bit more to her than that.
She's got social skills, which Martin doesn't. But centre-backs come in pairs. I mean, you and Julie have dominated this World Cup. 1 goal conceded in 4 games. The last 3 games, you've allowed just 2 shots in each on goal. When I think of great American duos, I've always thought Cagney and Lacey. I thought Abby and Alana, Broad City. But now I think about you guys, Sauerbrunn and Johnston, 2 towers of power. Give us some insight about what it feels to be you and her against the world.
It's great. I think Julie has been playing phenomenally, and she talked about a crazy journey making it to where she is now, and she has taken that opportunity and just made the absolute most out of it. And, I mean, I can't talk. She's just a stud. I mean, there's really no other word than she's a star, and she is killing it out there, and it's a pleasure to play next to her. And I just know that if I put a step wrong, she's got my back. If she puts a step wrong, I got her back. And we know that, when it comes down to it, defense does win championships. And so we're going to do our best to keep the team in every game that we play just by denying the other team chances.
Centre-backs depend on an understanding. What is amazing to me, I was speaking to Paul Carr, the great ESPN statistician this morning. He told me you've just played 11 games together, you and Julie. How have you gelled so quickly? And can you give us a sense of how the two of you actually do communicate on the field in play?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we really haven't played that many games together. I think we're just very like-minded in how we want to play. We like keeping the play in front of us, and so we're very quick to drop and protect the space behind. And we're both we just don't have any ego, so we know when another person needs a little bit of help, needs a little bit of support. So, if I'm kind of having a poop game or giving a few balls away, she's got my back and she's, supporting me and things like that. So it's a very easy relationship, and it's very instructive and just supportive.
I honestly haven't seen such defence since the Chicago Bears in the mid-'80s. But your team have struggled in the final third. How far can lockdown defence get you in this tournament?
Well, I mean, if you ask any Italian team, I think it can get you pretty far. I think, if you deny other team chances and they don't get any goals, your team's always in it. All it takes is a moment of brilliance. We get in one time and we can, shore it up in the back and we win. So I think absolutely a strong defense can get you far in the tournament. And it's not even the back line that's been doing well. It's the entire team defense has been really strong. And I think that's really denied teams a lot of opportunities.
Carly Lloyd said after the Colombia game, she said, "We still haven't peaked yet." What are the signs that tell us the difference between a team that's not clicking and one that is close to peaking?
Well, I mean, the easy way to say that would be, a team that's clicking, winning games, and they're winning by numerous goals. And that would be a great thing for us if, we can put two easy and early against China. But at this level, it's, we're not going to blow teams away like, we did in years past. So I think showing a team that's clicking, just moving the ball around well, good body language, creating opportunities, chances on goal, denying other teams' chances on goal. I think we're moving in the right direction. I mean, obviously we've got a lot of, space to go. We can get better, absolutely. We know that. But we're working towards it, and we're trying to get it to work.
China will wait Friday in the quarter-final. Young, defensive, organised outfit with 2 goal-scoring wangs. You're renowned for your attention to detail and the hard work you put in analysing game film. Can you talk to us about the threat you think you're going to face against China on Friday night?
And it's a team that we played quite a bit, and they haven't really ever changed up their MO. So we're thinking they're going to have 2 solid blacks on D, maybe playing like a 4-5-1 a little bit, and that one forward is kind of just going to be in between me and Julie, just trying to keep play on one side of the field. So they're a good transition team on attack. So if we're not, in good defensive shape, they'll look to counter us, and they counter very well. They're gifted players individually and play well as a team. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be patience for us, because I think they might try to delay the game, keep it zeros, maybe go into extra time, things like that. So it'll be on us to be patient and to make the most of our chances.
A lot of the talk going into the game for the US is about who won't be playing. Lauren Holiday and Megan Rapinoe both suspended. The duo who either scored or assisted or drawn the penalty on 4 of the 5 goals the US has scored this tournament. As a player, at this point in your career, are you just used to players being out, players being suspended, we move on? Or to use another awful Game of Thrones analogy, do you feel a bit like Stannis when his cavalry has just bolted?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because both those players offer us a lot of experience, a lot of World Cup, Olympic experience. So they've played in the highest of matches. And so, that's irreplaceable. But I also think that, you're used to this in this game, that, players are in and out with injury. Megan Rapinoe's been in and out with injury. Shane's been in and out. So you just kind of get used to it. And, I have the utmost faith in the players that are going to come in and fill out that formation. And I just know that we're going to get the job done. And it might look a little different with, new players on the field, because every player kind of offers a different style and take on the game. But I have faith that we're going to get the job done.
Out of interest, do you guys read the media coverage of the games and talk about it in camp amongst yourselves?
We try not to. It's hard because when you do give interviews, they bring up questions that other media outlets are saying, so you kind of get the gist of what's going on out there. So I do know pretty much the vibe going on right now, yeah. But
generally you try to avoid it as a player, just stay in that bubble.
You try to. You absolutely try to. And I think this team has done a pretty good job of staying in the bubble and just being supportive of one another. And, we do the most that we can just to make sure that, everyone's in a good place come game day.
Let's talk about that bubble. It's a remarkable bubble, because the defence is not the only unit you're part of within the US women's team. You're also one of the founders of the Nerd Squad. I've got a feeling a lot of our listeners were very interested, Becky, in the Nerd Squad. What is it? What do you have to do to qualify? And who on the team is a paid-up member of the US Women's Nerd Squad?
The Nerd Squad, it is an elite group. We are very interested when we go to different cities. Obviously, we travel so much, but we're interested on off days actually experiencing the city. And, most people are like, it's an off day. I want to stay back and relax, rest my legs. We're like, no, we are going out there, and we're going to figure out what the city is all about. So that's the Nerd Squad. And really all you need to be a part of the Nerd Squad is just not lazy and an interest in taking part in your surroundings. Who's in the Nerd Squad, on the current roster, I would say Heather O'Reilly, Megan Klingenberg, Whitney Angen. And I would say that we're having a small Nerd Squad on this roster, I have to admit, because in years past, there would be Nicole Barnhart, Rachel Bueller, Amy Lepelbit. Those players would be. Oh,
I love Amy Lepelbit. She's one of my favourites. Jill Ellis needs to beef up that Nerd Squad. It is a sure sign to World Cup. I can't wait to read the Nerd Squad's guide to Moncton. A lot of culture. A lot of culture to be found there. One of our listeners, at Houston Baby, wanted us to ask you, Becky, if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be? I'd actually guess it would be playing centre-back for the US national team unbelievably well, but how would you answer?
Oh, man, I think I'd want to fly. I want to be able to fly.
Friday night. Well, I've got to ask you, when Tom Hanks, when you got mail, Tom Hanks tweets, this is a real tweet from Hanks in a very Hanks style. Rampone, just say here, Rapinoe, how was Paris? Amy Rodriguez, Sauerbrunn. Thank you, Bex. That's Captain Phillips tweeting, do you love it? Or does it remind you of the pressure that the entire country, even Tom Bloody Hanks, is watching?
Oh, I loved it. I thought that was the coolest thing that made the entire tournament for me.
I liked him until
Unbelievable.
Bachelor Party was his last good film. There's always so much pressure on this US team, though. Such a weight of expectation. Can you tell us, what do you do to escape the pressure?
Me, personally, I escape through reading. I get away and I just read or watch a show or watch a movie and just try to forget everything.
English major at the University of Virginia. Wahoo wah. You are a voracious reader. Is there a single book that you've read during this World Cup cycle that's kept you sane? What is it?
I've actually read a few. I'm reading Station 11. That's actually an audiobook that I listen to at night. And then I'm reading Shantaram, which is, I just started it. Tobin Heath actually gave it to me and said it changed her life. So
we should start a US women's national team book club. Read to glory.
I think that's an excellent idea. Yeah.
Read.
I think we've tried to start that within the team, and it just never stuck.
God, I would love to be in a book club with Sydney LaRue. I think that would be. There's something I'm going to organise with her and Dom Dwyer in the wake of this. I've always wondered, with so much pressure, with so much expectation, you're someone who loves football. You always say you never take a single game of football for granted. But with all of this pressure, all of the stakes, the country watching so close out there in Canada, is it actually enjoyable to play a World Cup game? Or is it just huge relief at the final whistle with victory?
It's both. It's really both. I mean, I've spent my entire life making it to this point and trying to make it to this point. And so in that fact, it's enjoyable that I've reached my goal. And, winning is very enjoyable as well. And there is a lot of pressure, and there is relief when you win, absolutely. But there's a lot of emotions, excitement, it's terror, it's a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it's enjoyable, absolutely enjoyable.
Strikers dream of scoring the winning goal in the World Cup final. When defenders, like you and Julie, shut their eyes and go to sleep, what do you dream of, or do you just have nightmares?
Lately, I've been having a dream where I pick up the ball in the midfield and I do a 1-2 with Alex, and she puts me in on goal. I take one touch and I chip it over the keeper, and we win the game 1-0.
I love that dream. I love that dream.
It's a great dream.
I love that. It's almost my favourite defender's dream is John Brooks' last second Thunder goals, but I love that dream. I love that dream.
That's a great one,
Becky
too.
Sauerbrunn. Finally, I've got to say, if things go well at the World Cup, we're already hard at work on the World Cup movie. We're very inspired by the success of United Passions at the box office. We know America loves good old football movies. Megan Rapinoe told us that we should go out and get Tilda Swinton to play her. Heather O'Reilly wants us to get Jennifer Garner. We've had initial conversations with her people. Kelly O'Hara. I don't know if she's just Cockney rhyming slang or not, but she wanted Kate Mara. Who will be playing you, Becky, in the movie?
I'm going to go with Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, great choice. Cerebral. I like that. A lot of our listeners thought you should... Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence, well, a lot of people thought hashtag girl on fire. Yvonne Strahovski. One listener at The Real ODJ suggested Tim Roth, because if he can play Sepp Blatter, he can play anyone. My picks would be Amanda Seyfried or Phil Jagielka, because you are that good. But I prefer yours. We're going to make calls in the morning, Becky. Thanks for joining us. I've got to say, all of our listeners, join me in thanking you for your mighty performances. May they continue on Friday night and beyond. Please pass our finest, our collective finest, onto your teammates. We hope to see you all July the 5th